Hello there, this is a video response to Unrested's review of my Japanese coach for the DS here. Something Unrested touched upon was how the stroke order that it teaches you for lots of the kanji in the software here is actually incorrect. And something I've noticed, and I'm sure a lot of other people have noticed as well, is actually the kana, the stroke order it teaches you for the hiragana and the katakana, is incorrect as well in quite a few places. Obviously, given this software is aimed at people, generally aimed at people who have no prior knowledge of the language, and that when writing Japanese, stroke order is very important, this is more or less unacceptable. So if I can just demonstrate the individual hiragana and katakana that I've found to you here, starting with na here. That goes against sort of Japanese stroke order etiquette by writing something at the bottom before writing at the top, just with those sorts of two bits here. So the correct way to write it is 1, 2, 3, 4, like so. After na, we've got something I want to bring to light about hu here. Unrested touched upon it as well, and that's the fact that again, given that this is aimed at people who are inexperienced with Japanese, knowing the stroke order is important, and so it's important that it teaches you properly. Now, with some of them, it's quite nice and smooth like that. See, that's very smooth, it's sort of perfect. But then you get ones like that where it just sort of whacks it out at you, and if you do it lots and lots of times, you can slowly see the stroke order. Although, you know, it might take you a few goes to see it finally, and there's just no reason for it really. That stroke order was correct, luckily. Unfortunately, when it comes to writing the kana that use the handakuten, that gives it the sort of p sound, inconsistency here is not particularly important, but still, when writing the maru at the top there, maru shape, the first two are clockwise. Next it's counterclockwise. No reason why it changes like that. Again, yeah, that's counterclockwise. There's just no reason. I don't see any reason for the inconsistency really. But the problem with this section is, when it comes to pu, it's actually writing the main body of the kana there differently to how it wrote it previously. Previously it was correct. Again, it's fast, but if you do it enough times, you can see it's actually writing that first and that second. It doesn't make sense given the correct stroke order, so yeah, pretty hopeless in my opinion. Okay, next we've got, what have we got? It's on to lesson 13. This time we're looking at more. That's the bottom there. Now, when it comes to more, again, the stroke order it's teaching you here is wrong. The correct stroke order is to do the sort of long part first and then the two parts there. The confusion probably is that the katakana more is opposite. Again, it's just something there are consistencies in Japanese writing. It's just one of the things you've got to remember, unfortunately. No more incorrect ones in this section. Next ones are in lesson, I think, which one was it? Okay, lesson 17. And that's ya and yo. I'll just demonstrate those to you. The stroke order they're displaying there is completely backwards. Correct way, in fact, is to start off on the left here, add a little bit on top, and then finally, like so. Moving on to yo, that's yeah, that's the opposites are correct, which is start there, and then like that. So yeah, pretty unbelievable there. Moving on to, oh, it's actually back there. Sorry, it's sort of bear with me. So it goes and finishes hiragana here, and it moves on to katakana in the same section. So yep, straight in at here. Again, that also defies the basic stroke order etiquette, because were you to write it in that order, some of the time you might just end up with a little bit at the bottom there. So it's always right top to bottom, and then finish. The bottom stroke is usually, you know, the last, and then you end up with a sort of clearer character like that. Okay, that's the end of this particular one. Lesson 20, kind of 6. Now they managed to teach you the correct order for ka in hiragana. When it comes to katakana here, it's incorrect. It's the wrong way around. The correct way is actually like how you'd write the hiragana ka, is to start off with that bit and then finish off like that. Next is, what's next? No more here, I don't think. Lesson 22, kana 7. That's carrying the katakana. This is quite important because it relates to writing Japanese. It's related to writing Japanese as a whole. If you look there, that top stroke, it's actually writing it left to right and bottom to up, like so. There are more or less no cases in Japanese where you'll be doing that. It's always, particularly when it's at the top what I'm talking about, where you'll write it top to bottom and right to left, like so. The only contradiction, the only other times I can think of are when you'll be writing the shi katakana, when you're writing the sanzui on the left of kanji, where that bottom, that third stroke goes up like that, or indeed when you're writing hi in katakana, or indeed when this kind of a character appears in kanji as well, you'll be writing that part first going upwards. So yeah, that goes like that, like I've demonstrated. The correct way is like so. After chi, let's see, ne, okay. Here we go. Again, this relates to kanji, so it's very important that you learn this correctly. It's starting off with this part and going like that. This isn't correct. It's always start off at the top, like so, and then finish off like that. And again, this appears in a lot of kanji on the left here as a radical, so there's a sort of elongated version like that. So just make sure you learn the correct version of that. Absolutely unacceptable. It's a one stroke. Kana is there. The katakana for no. No idea how they got this one wrong. It doesn't go like that. It's top to bottom. Ridiculous. And then finally, you saw me kind of write this particular character correctly when I was demonstrating the sort of bottom to top style of writing. Let's go to lesson 24 here. And now we're going to talking about the hi katakana. This one here. As you may have seen previously, the way I write it is correct. This way is wrong. You start off like so and then end up like that. And then the sort of last point is, I've noticed that in the writing games, if you try and write, if you know the correct order and you try and write in the correct order, it often tells you the wrong. Particularly here with wa, if you notice, that's clearly, it was 2 strokes, okay, 2 strokes, 1, 2. When I was writing the game, every time I did that first stroke and lifted the pen off, it gave me batsu straight away, told me I was wrong straight away. So pretty unbelievable stuff. But I hope this was helpful for those of you who own this software, and for those who may have stumbled across this learning Japanese. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Thank you.